Peter Dutton has an idea. He says he can solve Australia's energy crisis. In his budget reply speech, Mr Dutton says one of the reasons power prices are so high is because we export all of our gas. He says a coalition government would crack down on this by introducing a gas reservation scheme. And I put it to the opposition leader yesterday that this would be his major announcement last night, and it was. The scheme would secure an additional 10 to 20% of the East Coast demand, and that would see gas prices come down. Leith Van Onselen is the chief economist at Macro Business, and he's on the line. Leith, good morning.
G'day, Ben. How are you?
Good. He's finally done it, Peter Dutton. We've been waiting on this policy for many, many years.
Mate, I must admit I'm still clapping. Us at Macro Business, we've been arguing for domestic East Coast gas reservation for about a decade. So to finally see a politician from one of the major parties announce this policy was music to our ears.
How far could prices come down?
Okay, so according to Peter Dutton, he believes he can bring the East Coast gas price down from about $12 to $14 currently down to about $10 a gigajoule. Now, I'd argue that's still too high. It should be $8 or under. But let's not let the perfect be the enemy of good here. The alternative is that the East Coast begins importing gas at the end of the year, and the gas price rockets to about $20. And what that would mean is that not just gas prices would go up, it would also drive upward pressure on electricity prices because gas is the marginal price setter for electricity a lot of the time. And what that would see is that Australia's gas bills and electricity bills would rocket. So this is basically a circuit breaker in the whole energy policy debate. And it should deliver not just lower gas prices, but also lower electricity prices, and it will flow through to consumers.
I've still got to check myself every time we hear people talking about importing gas. I mean, how did we get to this point?
Oh, look, it's absolutely crazy. So unfortunately, about 10 years ago, we began exporting gas out of Gladstone. And as soon as we started doing that, we effectively linked Australia's East Coast gas market to the international market, and immediately the gas price soared. And unfortunately, we have this bizarre situation whereby East Coast Australia is the only gas exporting jurisdiction in the world that doesn't have a reservation policy. And despite the fact that we've doubled gas supplies in the last decade on the East Coast, the domestic market has been supplied with 25% less gas. And that's led to a gas shortage, an artificial shortage, and it's led to higher prices. And it's akin to a Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or one of these oil exporting nations being rich in oil, but creating a domestic shortage and having to import oil and then paying $2 a litre for petrol. It makes no sense.
Is there a chance that Anthony Albanese will copy this policy, or is that dreaming?
Gee, I hope so. I mean, really, Peter Dutton's put the cat among the pigeons here. He's basically, broken rank, and he's targeted the export cartel, the gas export cartel. So I would sincerely hope that Labor copies this policy because it's a policy that really should have come in 10 years ago.
There's a sign with the PM calling the election this morning that he was a little bit worried about the attention that Mr Dutton would get last night and today on his announcement. And this is the major announcement, the gas reservation policy. I think the PM, in his heart of hearts, knows that Peter Dutton has pulled the right trigger here with gas.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an absolute game changer, and anybody in Australia should be voting for this if you live on the East Coast, because otherwise your gas and electricity prices are going to soar. We're going to lose more manufacturers overseas because it's simply too expensive to make anything in Australia. It's going to deindustrialise the economy, lead to upward pressure on inflation, upward pressure on cost of living, and basically be an absolute disaster for Australia.
We love getting your analysis, and thank you so much for joining us on the line.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Leith Van Onselen, the chief economist at Macro Business. So he says this is the policy we need. And how long have we been talking about a gas reservation policy? Well, if Peter Dutton wins, we've got one.